there. Straighten out the camera. Hey, what's up, everybody? Everybody. One person here. That's pretty quick, though, whoever you are. What's up? Hey, it's Meat Goggles. What's happening, man? Pre show boom. I know it took me a minute there. Once I thought I was all ready to go. I was like, actually, I'm not ready to go. All right, so try to go for another maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes here. We'll see what's happening. Not a lot happening. Missed opportunity today, though. Did my leaves for basically the first time all year. I basically waited until everything fell. And then I was like, well, now what do I do? And then it was just way too much. Oh, is that a song I haven't heard of before, Frankie? Or is that a typo? This a reboot? Black Naplins? Ah, the L's right next to the K. What's up, man? Dude, what's up, Womps? Boom. Oh, okay. Boom. I like it. Hey, what's up, Dan Z? I know. I was just teasing you about your typo, and you just did another one. Good job. Boom. I like it, Frankie. Good first name. Oh no, Jack Crick. It was. Yeah, I'm just playing around, Frankie. Jack Crick. It was. I was raking leaves and then putting them on a tarp and dragging them out to the curb. That's how my day went. You know what the really hard part was the I don't know about that, Sean. Occasionally I'll give them a tip of the hat though. Um, it's the once you get them all tarped up and then like trying to fold it together like a burrito or whatever and then drag it. I just found that was the hard part, just like holding it together tight. Like man, I was like, damn, my arms are burning. Boom napkins. Normally I just mow them. I just go out there about once a week and mow them up. Womp it up. And then I did listen to some more of Fall 2013, just kind of bouncing around from show to show. Um, and then, yeah, I guess Jack Crick was right. It was a pretty boring day. Into a show. Interesting. John Lenz wants to know what's the most elaborate contraption I've ever seen someone sneak into a show. Now, I don't know about a show, but I mean, the most one thing I definitely remember that's along the lines of what you're asking, John, is hey, what's up there, Spud? Was one time when I was in Vegas in 2014, the Chilling Thrilling run. I was there and ran into a dude. He was like, "Hey, come up to the room, man. It's a pretty cool room. You know, we're partying a little bit, watching some football." And go up there, and they had two giant nitrous tanks in the room. And then while I was there, they had room service delivered, and everything was just seemed normal. Everybody was just acting like that was totally normal. And I was like, how do they get those in here? I mean, I know it's Vegas. Things say, you know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You know, I don't know if there was some payola involved or if someone just snuck those things in. I mean, how do you sneak them in? I mean, they were huge. I don't know, 50 pound. I don't know. I don't know how they measure that stuff, but they were big, you know. I say 50 pounds, but maybe more than that. That might even be a small tank. Let me try to think if something at a show. Pretty basic stuff I've seen at a show. Um, Probably the biggest chomper thing I ever saw at a show was a lady was scrambling around during at the start of Gumbo, and I was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Oh, maybe she just like maybe Gumbo's the song where she busts out a joint." No, she pulled out some bubbles and started blowing them during that part in Gumbo. But that's not really like anything elaborate. I don't know. Nothing really jumps out at me that I remember. A 2 foot bong, someone said here. That's pretty impressive. Okay, somebody had a bubble maker. Now this was just your basic, like kids bubbles, the little plastic dipper thing. Um, you're a bubble man. What was that old joke from like, hey, do you ever blow bubbles? Oh yeah, is that the guy next door? Hey I was a big fan of Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys. I about forgot the name of the show. sneaking him into the Cap Center. That's why when all that stuff happened in Vegas a few years ago, people were like, "How did he get all this stuff in here?" And I'm like, "Well, I saw somebody snuck two giant nitrous tanks into a Vegas hotel room, so how I don't know. It can happen, man. I don't know." Oh no. Well, I had something similar. Jay Rocks here says that night one at the Chase Center during the Possum opener, he got hit with the lights and he just he fell backwards. He was paralyzed. Was that waist down, waist up? Now I saw a guy go down one time in Cincinnati in '03. He looked like, I just remember him being he looked like a teacher or something. And I was a pretty young man in '03. So this guy was probably, about my age now, but he seemed old. So sadly, when these young kids see me at shows, they think I'm old. That's what I thought of this guy. I thought he was an old geezer. He was probably, really not that. He really wasn't geezer. But I'll tell you what he was, is he wasn't a young man anymore. He could not go hard. This was not 1989 anymore. That was probably this guy's heyday. So anyhow, during I didn't know, he just I think somebody passed him a bowl or a joint or something, and he took like a mega hit, blew a fat cloud, coughed, and then just just fell straight forward. Luckily, there were some people there. That's always my biggest fear is falling at a concert. Not my biggest fear, but it's up there. Falling at a concert or a fight breaks out and all those hard plastic chairs. Sometimes there's the metal arm rails. There's concrete everywhere. Just seems like a very, very bad place to pass out, slip and fall, get into a fight, get shoved, any of that stuff, man. I mean, stadium and arena seating is just not, there's no soft landings. You see it all the time at football games, it seems like. Even baseball games, Fenway. I feel like I've seen a few people at Fenway. Hey, what's up, Mrs. Spud? Haven't been paying too close of attention to the chat here. Yeah, that's what I mean, John Doe. That's what I was referencing. I was like, I was like, I know an entire arsenal's different than two big giant tanks, but not really, man. I mean, I don't know. So I don't know how. People just looking the other way in Vegas, I guess. You know what they say? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and apparently, whatever the hell's going on in Vegas, look the other way. Speaking of looking the other way or something, I don't even know what I'm getting at here, but to segue into, I was watching a little something called Karate Combat, and they're their CEO or president or whatever would come on every now and then in between fights, and me and Mary, almost at the same time, we were like, is this guy just coked out of his mind or whatever? What the hell's going on here, man? What? And yeah, I think we agree. Then it was dude, everybody in this audience, it seemed like someone said in the chat that I think they gave you a line with your ticket, and it was all very crypto, a lot of crypto stuff going around. I was like, there's a lot of crypto crime and cocaine in this Karate Combat thing here. The C's and K's were just wild. Crypto criminals on cocaine watching Karate Combat. That's what it felt like. I mean, it's got to be. I don't know. I mean, part of the only reason I'd be a nay is because I got to admit, Jay Robo, he said, "Are you a yay or a nay on the Sphere?" And I would say a nay because I'm sure it's going to be super expensive, and Vegas is pretty far from Dayton, Ohio, so that would be my only nay. But as far as I mean, it seems like it's awesome. And do they already have one in Saudi Arabia? I was watching the Tyson Fury fight this weekend, and some of the overhead shots of the city or whatever. I'm like, I think they got a Sphere. I don't know if it's the same thing with them. Who knows? It might just be for looks or something. Might not even do anything with it. I don't know. Oh, they don't let you stand at the top of the Sphere? Is that what you're saying? Or is this something totally different? Now, I heard someone saying you don't want to look up or something. I don't know. I mean, it looks like it would be pretty incredible. I know I know not a ton of Fish fans. There's not a lot of crossover with the UFC, but their president of the UFC is going crazy to have an event there. He wants to have a live UFC card at the Sphere. So I don't know. Okay, that's what I was thinking, Tom. I thought that's what you meant. You were jumping in on the Sphere. Hey, what's up, Tom, man? If you're the same Tom I'm thinking of, I think I saw you in Vegas almost 10 years ago now. Could be a different Tom, though. Not sure. If you're just some other Tom, man. Hey, yeah, it is you. Hey, what's up, man? That's him. Cool. What's up, man? Yeah, I don't go to a ton of shows anymore. Definitely don't go to like the big event shows. Just well, you weren't at the Nutter Center by any chance, were you? I feel like maybe you moved. Um, yeah, I don't feel. I mean, yeah, I guess part of me now that the game some time has passed, I feel bad for the Colts a little bit and Colts fans for the way that Browns game went. But something like that. Ah, cool. You were there the first night. Okay, still in Indy. Cool, cool. I know, man. Wouldn't that suck, Spud, if it was just some random Tom? Nope, it's the Tom. Yeah, Tom's been a big fan since like very, very early in the F Zappa 20 days. Yeah, John Doe says if he's at a show and he's high, the last thing he wants is a big list of rules. That's good. Good, fair point. Oh, you were at the Browns game? Yikes. Yeah, man, right. It was very uncatchable. And I mean, maybe I mean that's like one of those penalties. They could probably call that penalty on like every single play if they really wanted. There's a little something going on all the time. It like wasn't something outrageous. Okay, we got a Giants fan here. Yeah, rough year for you guys, huh? Rough decade, really. But I mean, has anybody had it worse than the Browns? Sure, we get a playoff appearance here and there, but even in the playoff appearance, the refs kind of stuck it to us. Now, there's no guarantee we are going to win that Chiefs game, but speaking of like they choose to call it, they choose not to call it. My God. Hey, what's up, Isaac Garcia? I know you don't like Ballard, but what do you think of Ursay, Otter Creek? Hey, what's up, Professor Joe? I yeah, I was just watching one of your recent reviews, Professor Joe, and I'm like, man, I just like when you I was just like, man, I really felt your pain when you got to the point where you were trying to explain the Spider-Verse and you were just like, I don't know, man, whatever, you know. I really felt your pain. Like I would just feel the same way. Like, I don't know, man. Like I get I can people say it's good even, but I just don't care anymore. And I'm a guy who got really into those movies for a while there. Ooh, turning the corner towards the Browns, huh? Oh, okay. I see. Oh, I see what you're saying. At first, I thought you meant you're like, I'm going to become a Browns fan. I was like, I don't know if you want to do that. Oh, wow. That's not too bad. Now, that's a pretty good Jim Irsay story. I don't know about the Browns owner, man. He just seems like a wild man with a ton of money, and he's like, I'm just going to buy some wins, and it just doesn't work that way. He did finally admit, though, like maybe about 5 years into his ownership, that like, yeah, this isn't as easy as I thought, you know. Yeah, they just totally lost me with all that multiverse stuff. You know, pretty much at the end, at end game, I was out. I don't know anything that's happened since then. I think I did watch like the first season of Loki, and then I was like, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't even have Disney Plus anymore. Yeah, I'd say Jim Irsay. Yeah, I could see that. Jim Irsay, owner's box being reminiscent to O3 Fish in Vegas. Oh, you like the new King Gizzard album, huh? I've tried. Now, I have not listened to it 10 times, that's for sure. Now, a few of the songs, maybe. Um, and there's parts of them I like, but, you know. Yeah, Isaac said he was a little confused by that latest Spider-Man. 'Cause all I know is that the Colts got a kid from Northridge, which is a little small town I grew up in partially. You know, I moved at some point, like right in the middle. And but I don't know, I went to school there for like 6 or 7 years. Also the hometown of Robert Pollard. Well, anyways, this Drew Ogletree looks like they got themselves a steal there. You know, he was really good in high school, but it's like a tiny little town that not a whole lot of people are probably scouting and recruiting out of. So he ended up at a Mac school, did well there, got injured right away in Indy. Probably looked like he maybe wasn't he was probably just going to get released, late round pick, injured right away. But he's come back here in a couple years later, man. Looks like his blocking's even pretty good. Yeah, man. He's from a tiny little part of Dayton. Hey, what's up, McCavity? Um, yeah, I gotta say I was surprised. One thing that's a little weird though is one of my old teachers slash neighbors I'm friends with on Facebook. And apparently, she was still a teacher when he went through the school system there. And oh my God, she just constantly like posting about him and tagging him. I mean, the guy gets like one catch for 7 yards. She starts a brand new Facebook post about it, would like tags him. I don't know, just always carrying on about how proud of him she is. I'm like, oh, stop it. You're acting like you made it in the NFL. Come on. You were just like one teacher along the way. He never responds or anything. She went to a game and like got a selfie with him. He kind of looked like there was a bunch of security guards around him, to be honest. He's like, oh, I got to go see Mrs. Smith. Can you guys come with me? She might assault me. I don't know. Yeah, really, right? I saw a funny little short the other day. There, 476. It was a guy. He was like playing all the characters. I think it was like Ambrose, Stu, and Cavs. And he like plays this final little drum beat, and they're like, okay, well, that's a wrap. The album's complete. Now, what should we do? And Stu was like, I don't know. You want to make another album? And then they immediately just start making another album. And yeah, but I gotta say the last two are probably not gonna be on in my top tens. That's for sure. Yeah, you can let a cat out of the bag. Sure, I think so. Yeah, I don't know why not, man. It's just a low key live chat. Nothing really happening here. Go ahead. I did not check out that new Beatles tune after all the talk about it the other night, Isaac. I did not. Whoa, okay. 4 nights, huh? Damn. All right. We'll take it. Yeah, rest in peace, Bobby Knight. I agree. Although I was never like an Indiana fan, I did like Bobby Knight. And what a difference in generations, right? Guys our age probably love Bobby Knight. And now, like, that guy wouldn't last a season, would he? You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, Michelle S? Joe said it was kind of emotional. He liked it. Big Beatles fan, though, this Professor Joe. And I like the other night, I didn't mean to imply that I'm like not a Beatles fan. Wow, 4 nights, huh? Kind of hung up on that. All right. Hey man, if they can do 2 nights in Dayton, they can do 4 nights in Noblesville. I feel like the Colts, the Colts had a running, oh yeah, maybe, I guess they're not going to need him now that old Taylor's back. Trey Sermon, I think the Colts picked him up. He came to Ohio State from a transfer from Oklahoma, and just a perfect season for him. They just needed a running back, and late in the season, man. Oh yeah, I was saying I didn't mean to imply. Yeah, I like that there's some people here and the chat's active, but I get all over the place. I don't even know where I was at. But I was going to say I didn't mean to imply that I wasn't a. I was going to say I didn't mean to imply. That I'm like not a Beatles fan or I don't like them or anything. And it's probably maybe 3, 4, 5 times in my life over the last 20 years I've went on like a Beatles binge. Like well, a guy I went to high school with, he had a bunch of their CDs and he like let me borrow like 6 or 7 of their CDs all at once. So that was the first time. And then, years later the internet comes around and you can just download everything. I think I got like all their albums at that point. And then I think maybe about a year ago when that movie or something came out. Something came out about a year ago. Let It Be or something. Forget exactly. I already forget what came out. Some kind of documentary thing or recording. Kind of some rooftop material maybe. I forget. I found out it was when I realized how cool Paul McCartney was. Most of our lives, Paul McCartney's just kind of been an old guy, and whatever, he's cool or whatever, but he's not like rock star like cool, you know what I mean? Like women screaming for him. Like I never understood. Like I think they were screaming for John, but we never got to see John get old. We never got to see Geezer John, unfortunately. So like that was one thing I took away from that Beatles thing that came out last year or whatever. See, Tom, I didn't even get all that from it. That Harrison had all this good stuff, and although, yeah, I do. I will say, like, again, that's me not having a ton of Beatles knowledge, but then even being a small fan, It's like, yeah, like, oh, George Harrison wrote that, huh? Or then, yeah, there's another song that's not even a Beatles song. It's like, oh, that's a George Harrison song, huh? Like, Page has got some nice songs or whatever, but, although I kind of really love the Page and Mike songs, really. Maybe it's just because we get their very best stuff. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, maybe, maybe that's it. Like if they played a total of like 8 or 9 Page and Mike songs consistently every night, I think we'd be like, man, I don't know about all these. I don't know about all these Page and Mike songs. Mary's pushing hard for another cat. I'm not totally opposed to it, but I think she just thinks it's going to solve some of the problems we have with the first cat. Like for example, at like 3:30 something this morning, Rose was pretty ready to rock, and she was just pretty intent and was just going to wake me up, for whatever reason. So I was able to hold off until like 5 or whatever, and then I got up and gave her whatever she wanted, and I don't know. Anyhow, my point is, I just don't know if like a second cat's really going to solve that. Like if Rose wakes up at 3:30 and she wants out on the porch or she wants some wet food, she's still going to want out on the porch or want some wet food. That other cat's really not going to solve that, I don't think. Looking at an all black one this time. At least Yoko wasn't in it. I don't know. I'm glad you guys seem to be chatting amongst yourselves a little bit over here because I'm all over the place. Never even got into the leaves, really, which is down here in the description. This was supposed to be about me raking and tarping and all that good stuff. But we quickly got on to, I don't know what we got onto, really. Talked a little fish, talked a little beetles. I don't know. I've been cracking some stuff up over here. Is what I'm realizing, though, is I don't have any toothpicks or anything to... Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna... It's like 8 months old. Rose is like a year old. I think its name currently is Blackberry, I believe. I don't know. I don't know if that's a keeper or not, the name. Oh my God. Remember, oh wait, did Yoko show at that like Rolling Stone Circus thing? John, I know Lennon was there, but didn't Yoko also perform there? I used to love listening to that CD, and I think there was even like a video of it. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. She seems really curious with Cashew, the neighbor's cat. Cashew doesn't seem to be too into her, but she seems to want a little friend. I think is what got Mary going. I was just joking. I had to, we've had some weather here recently, so I busted out my winter boots, and they're just some, pretty hardcore leather winter/work boots. And Rose was kind of checking them out and smelling them, and I was like, oh look. She thinks it's a baby cow. It's her best friend. And it made Mary real sad. Like my boots are the only friend that Rose has. She thinks it's another animal because they're leather. Which I wasn't serious. And I think Mary really took that to heart. I think a dog is on the outs, Joe. We do have the yard for it. Even got a partial fenced in yard, but I don't know, man. They're just a lot more work. I know, McCavity. Yep. Oh yeah, I've seen that before too. Doesn't I mean like he just like, yeah, they're jamming along and all of a sudden she jumps in and he looks like somebody poked him in the ribs with a taser or something. Dude, my sister got a Saint Bernard, Joe. Speaking of that, and she didn't have that Saint Bernard for very long. Now she's got like one of them little wiener dogs. Yeah, cats are a lot easier. It's just that I don't know. Maybe it's because she's young, but man, she doesn't seem like a normal cat. My complaint about cats used to be is like they seem to hate everybody. Hey, what's up, Jay? Your your mom's box, okay. It's a pretty cool name. They're entertaining. I mean, not that dogs aren't entertaining though. I had a Yorkie growing up, It was a very cool dog. Then I had my sister's dog for a while. My sister like moved into a place where she couldn't have a dog, so I took the dog where I was living. It was cool, and that was kind of my dog for a couple of years. And then one day, my sister was just like, "Fucking my mom," yeah, my sister just came and got her dog back. Like, no, like, hey, man, I don't know. It was her dog, but whatever. It just felt like after 3 or 4 years, it was kind of my dog at that point. Because she had maybe only had the dog for like 2 years, and then she had to let it come live with me, and then I had it for like 3 to 4. So it's pretty much my dog, right? You know what I'm saying? Now she did pay for like all the food and the vet and anything it needed in the meantime, so there is that. um, well, yeah, Joe. I mean, at least she was still alive for many, many years. And I tell you what, every time that dog saw me, no matter how much gap there was, it went ape shit. Just completely went wild for me. And got a little excited for other strangers. But I was like, yeah, that's right. And we've kind of decided Rose is sort of my cat. I think that's another reason Mary wants to try another cat. She's like, damn it, that's Kevin's cat. And like last night and then tonight too, probably will be the same thing. It's like last night Rose would just not go. Like I could tell she wanted to go to sleep. Like she was ready to go to bed, but I was up a couple hours later than normal. And she kept going in there and getting in bed with Mary and then be like, nope. And she'd come out for a few minutes and like come in here in the room, check on me, like go out there and meow a little bit, maybe act like she wanted out, but then she would immediately want back in, try to go lay back down. And then finally I realized, like within 5 minutes of me going and getting in bed, here she comes. She came in there and jumped up and laid down. I was like, I think she was just like waiting for me to go to bed. She wanted to go to bed, but she just wasn't like, I can't do it, man. I don't know what he's up to. What's he in there doing, man? Is he playing PlayStation? What's he going to do? Is he going to go outside? I wanted to go do the leaves last night at like 11 o'clock. Yeah, that's always rough, Michelle. Because yeah, I feel like obviously, oh man, I don't know. It's kind of messed up to even have the thought like, ooh, I don't want to end up someday having to spend all this money on my cat. But I mean, I feel like right now, if it came to it, I would spend about whatever I could, to keep her. I don't know though. I might be like, whatever, we can get another cat. I mean, she's great. I love her, but we can just get another one. um, yeah, they're pretty cool. I do like them. I do like them. I would eat a cat before a dog. Well, I don't know. Depend. I've heard people. I know, like a show I watch or podcast I listen to every now and then. The dude has had mountain lion, and he's like, it's kind of like pulled pork. At least how he had it prepared. So for regular domestic cats, anything like that. And then I also saw some dudes on a show one time try coyote, and they didn't like it. I mean, that's about the worst of the worst too. I don't know. Maybe a wolf might be even a little better. Now, not many of you will probably appreciate this joke, but a friend of mine sent me a picture the other night. He was taking his kids out trick or treating up in Milwaukee, and he took a picture of another set of kids, not in a weird way, but just to show me, like, look, dude, this kid went as Glenn Robinson for Halloween. And he was wearing a Glenn Robinson Bucks jersey. And my reply to that obviously was trick or treat. You got to let the big dog eat. And then a little while later, he sent us a picture of Billy Strings' Halloween show, and Billy was Hulk Hogan. And then so our friend Aaron's, he's kind of a casual Billy fan, and he was like, who is that? And Brandon replied, that's Hulk Hogan. I had to pick him up, though. I couldn't just leave him hanging there. I was like, it's Billy's Halloween show. It's always very cringy. Professor Joe, I know you've had that problem before when you're reviewing comedies or a stand-up. You try to repeat something funny that's happened or somebody else said or did. Never goes well. I mean, I've said some funny things, but it's usually not repeating something like that. Like somebody told me one season I was doing recaps of South Park. I'd watch the episode that night, do a little recap, Game of Thrones or Fish style. And some dude was like, I've never seen someone take something so hilarious and make it seem so unfunny. And I was like, oh, damn it. Damn it. And he wasn't wrong. He wasn't just being an asshole. He was like, yeah, I'm not very good at all of this to start with. A bad listener. Come on, Spud, don't be coming in here. I mean, I know I knew the answer to that joke, but what do you call a girl with two black eyes, Spud? Come on, tell me, Spud. A bad listener? Was I right? Am I a pig? Yes or no? Yeah, I saw a meme the other day. Speaking of barn cats, I saw a thing the other day. The meme was basically like showed this couple and their dog, and it was like, yeah, we spent 9 months researching what would be the perfect dog for us. And then at the bottom, it showed a person with a cat, and it was like, yeah, I found mine in a trash can. It's like, some people I've seen some cats. Although I know a guy found a dog in a trash can once. You want to hear some fucked up, man? Dude was at like a White Castle drive-through, and he's like, thought he heard something coming from this dumpster, and then he saw like two of the workers like go over there, and they were like looking in it or whatever. And then when they went inside and he was leaving, he was like, what the hell were they looking at? And there was a dog in the dumpster. Yeah, man. So he got the dog out and took it, and it became his dog then. But dude, oh, did I missed the answer? Me and Mary were talking about your Halloween story the other night, Spud. That was one that needed to really kind of marinate a little bit. Because at first, you told your story, and again, it's the retelling of a story. You're trying to do it in text form. And I think I was like, oh, ha, ha, that's pretty funny. I'll tell you what, me and Mary got a real laugh out of that later on. That's true, dumpster dog. But then you never know, man. Turned out it was a pretty good dog, but oh, okay. Now I'm catching it. Took me a little while to catch on what was going on over here. Boom. See you later, Michelle. Thanks for stopping by. Go Bucks. I don't know what all these Big Ten coaches think they're going to do. Like, they're all like, these Big Ten coaches are all mad at Michigan, but there's like nothing the Big Ten's going to do right now in the middle of a season. The Purdue coach seems to be really butthurt. But yeah, I don't know. What do they think's going to happen? Nothing. Nobody has any real power over any of these schools, really. I don't understand. I mean, I guess it's like they kind of listen to the NCAA. Hey, what's up, Chicago? Oh, yeah, where's everybody at tonight? Yeah, last night or a couple nights ago, we had California, Florida, a Massachusetts, and an Ohio. Oh, yeah, you know what? I think I watched one of Joe's videos, and he was going to tell the donkey story in his next video. And I don't know if I ever saw that, McCavity. Okay, Isaac in Texas, Delaware. Boom, boom. Okay, we got a Kentucky. You're already ready for the festival. My goodness. No, you're right. Nobody has a stash like Fred McGriff, except maybe Rafael Palmeiro. Alpharetta, the capital. I will. So we have gone longer than I would have planned on, but that's all right. We got 20 people here. We got 21 thumbs up. The Steve-O tattoo. It's still pretty funny, you know. Every now and then you still catch a shot of that on Steve-O's back, and it's like, wow, the guy's done some wild stuff. Look, that sums it up nicely. Nobody took defensive drills as seriously as Fred McGriff, huh? Interesting. That was good, man. I had my two shows in Dayton, Mike. He said I should have come up to the United Center for Fish. You know, maybe if they didn't do the Dayton shows. Although, man, it's just such a madhouse up there in Chicago. You know, if you don't live there and you're not like a walker or, um, you know what I mean? I know people that are like from Chicago. Everything's real simple to them, I'm sure. But if you're not from Chicago, man, that city's a nightmare. It's almost like I just want to like stay outside the city and be like, all right, I'm gonna stay here, park my car here, I'm gonna Uber it into town, and then I'll just walk wherever I need to go. Cops were real jerks to me one time. This guy's a real jerk. Um, yeah, man, I went up there to see Claypool and Buckethead, that little band he did. I think maybe, God, who was in there? Colonel Claypool's Bucket of Bernie Brains. Bernie Worrell was in the band. So, anyways, like I didn't have a ticket, and there's everybody that had tickets was like lined up to get in. Well, I was gonna like walk around the line and try to get up to the box office, which was open, by the way, and it was not sold out. And well, the cop like thought I was trying to cut the line or something. And then I was trying to at least explain to him what I was doing. You know, not that he was going to arrest me for anything, but he's just being an idiot for no reason, man. Just a complete jerk. It's like he was aggravated that he had to be there. He didn't like all these Claypool fan types, you know. And I was by myself. I'm a pretty meek dude. I'm not like, I don't look like anything that's going to cause any trouble. So of course he just like went crazy on me and was just like he was really tough, really gonna put his foot down with me. It's like, hey, you fucking, this is why nobody likes you guys, man. You're not protecting and serving anything right now. You're just being a jerk to a kid for no reason. Hey, what's up, Noogie? Happy belated birthday. No, you got some shout outs elsewhere, but here you are in the flesh. Not really, but I know there was some AI talk earlier. I guess ESPN tried some shenanigans, and I don't really care. It's sports, whatever. It's harmless. I know the UFC does a lot of voiceover stuff that's not really, of like Cormier saying something about, whatever, Hamzat. And then they'll just take like a little clip of that and make him sound like he's saying it about whatever. Well, anyways, what ESPN did, took it a little step further. It's something from Damian Lillard all the way back in 2020 when the NBA was playing in the bubble. And he was just like quoted, whatever, I'm happy to be here. We're going after a championship. Well, they put him in a Bucks jersey, like changed the background, removed the reporter, and just replaced it with a microphone and made it seem like he said that like his first day in Milwaukee when he got traded to the Bucks. And it's just like, why? Like, what was the point? Like, why? And of course, somebody immediately like was like, hey, wait a minute. Only took one person, one like super Blazers fan to be like, I remember when he said that in the bubble. That's what he looked like 3 years ago, too. So it's just like, yeah, it's just weird, man. Where are we headed with all of this? And like, why would they even do that? Was it really that important? Like they had to what? Be like, we got a quote from Dame. I don't know, man. It's really weird, man. Yeah, and it's getting better. Although I heard a thing today. Someone posted a clip of it was a fake Trey voice. It's just audio only, but some people were fooled by it. Others were like, "Yeah, it's not bad." And maybe I don't know. Maybe I already knew it was going to be fake before I even listened to it, but it was horrible. It was clearly like Trey doesn't talk this way. Um, Trey has more of like his voice is bouncing. Like you almost imagine Trey's doing this as he's talking, and he's like, you know, this was not that. I don't know, even though it was audio only. So I figure, somebody that's been a fan for 2 years probably made that sweet little audio video. Great. Did it come from PT? Yeah, that figures. maybe my least checked in on forum these days. I'll still look at .net every now and then. I still look at Reddit every now and then. I look at Reddit more than I would like to, just because once you're there once or twice, you start getting all these notifications. Suppose I could just turn that off or something. Yeah, I'd say a slap on the wrist sounds about right. I mean, what's anybody gonna do? You know what I mean? I mean, maybe this gets hardball run off if it continues to kind of, but it seems like we know what they did, and it's I don't know if it matters either, really, to be honest. It seems like one of those things that like I don't know. I mean, I would rather they not know. And can you get a ton more? I mean, I suppose you can get more if you're actually there at the game. Yeah, you definitely can get more there at the game than just watching it on television or whatever. But yeah, shit, 8 or 9, 10 years ago, it was kind of awesome. I don't know what happened really. Why I lost, I don't know. But I guess when I said it doesn't matter, I just meant in the, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know though. Does it? I mean, when I say does it matter, like, I don't know. Like, I still think they're a good team, really. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it actually plays a huge role in it. I'm not sure though. We'll see. I guess we'll see because now, I mean, I don't think they were going to have any trouble with Purdue as it is. Obviously, Ohio State gotten several weeks heads up. So I don't know. That's where you think Harbaugh's headed next? Hmm. Do. Howdy. Hey, what's up, Jesse? Okay. You can show me the stat, but I don't know if it'll make me think like I'm just not a believer in, hey man, Michigan was a 500 team and then they started videotaping opponents and now they're like undefeated. I don't know if it's that. I think it just took them several years to build a team that could compete with and beat Ohio State. And once you've done that, well, then that pretty much takes care of the rest. You can compete with and beat Ohio State. You can pretty much compete and beat everybody else in the Big Ten, no? No? But let me see the stat, just for curiosity. See, that doesn't say a lot to me. I understand what you're saying, but look, not everybody's Urban Meyer. Not everybody's going to go 12-0 in their first year. Not everybody's Ryan Day. Michigan was really pitiful and like way worse than 49-22 when he got there. I'm not trying to defend Michigan here or anything. I just know I know what it's like as an Ohio State fan for like something small that really doesn't matter, and then the rest of the country starts piling on. Like I knew that's why they were good. Some damn tattoos, man, and that drunk coach. That's what's going on. That coach was cheating on his wife. This is despicable. This is despicable what they're doing over there. I just don't want to be one of those guys. So whatever. They were taping some plays. You know what I mean? I don't know, Chuck. You're starting to come off like that a little bit, Chuck. I'm just kidding. You're not that bad, believe me. Some of those people, man. This is disgusting what's going on there at Ohio State. What? Urban Meyer got drunk and like touched a lady's butt? Calm down. Shelley doesn't care, apparently. Yeah, don't get me too. Like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm defending Michigan here, but as a Buckeyes fan, you know what it's like. Like people are just looking for one little thing to then jump on and be like, I knew it. They're a bunch of frauds. I don't know what Urban Meyer is, dude. Urban Meyer is psychotic. He's like one of those people. It's like that's how you get when like you can't be as good at him at most or you know what I mean, like you can't get as good as he's gotten at something without being a little bit psychotic. I think Michael Jordan's always people's like number one example. Like the guy was crazy. I think that's what we all learned during 2020 when we watched The Last Dance. Michael Jordan is insane, but you probably got to be a little bit insane to just be like the greatest ever at something, to have that drive and just to never stop working to get better and just. just to not settle for anything less than being the absolute best, like every single day for decades. Like you got to be a little cuckoo. Yeah, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love that Herb came, dominated, and then he's out. Like even when Herb was there, I remember a friend of mine. He has a picture of Woody Hayes up, and he said he wanted to get a picture of Urban Meyer. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd put a picture of Urban Meyer up in my home, to be honest. Like Woody Hayes, sure. That's someone you could admire, I suppose. I don't know. I know it didn't end well for Woody, but all right, calm down. Who hasn't wanted to punch some player for Clemson? I know I sure have. I want to punch Dabo sometimes. Dabo's losing it, isn't he? He's cracking, man. Dabo's cracking it. I love it. I knew about a month ago. Now, think what you want of Colorado. They're not exactly lighting the world on fire right now. But one thing I loved about Deion and the whole Colorado thing, I was like, this is the end of guys like Dabo Swinney and his stupid little pizza parties, man. Out with Dabo. I'll take Coach Prime any day over Dabo and his stupid pizza parties and all his crap. Speaking of cheaters, that guy's is just as dirty as they can be. And he's just like, our boys go to pizza parties and then they go to church and we're just running a clean program down here in South Carolina. I know it's always funny when I do an accent of somebody. They're like, dude, that's what you sound like. You sound like Dabo Swinney. Nah, it's not the pizza. No, Joe. It's just this guy's pizza parties were really annoying. Just extra annoying. And they had beat Ohio State like twice in a row in big games. Finally, Ohio State got them back. I mean, let's be honest, too. That was also the beginning of the end for Clemson. When Ohio State finally cleared that hurdle, and it was like, that's all you got to do to these idiots. This guy's pizza parties were extra annoying. I don't know if there's how many, like, Chuck, would you agree? Yeah, I don't know what the hell Saban's doing with his $8,000 office doors. Something's going on down there. They got a nice stadium, though, I'll say. I know the Buckeyes got a nice stadium. You're like, whoa. It's like one of those stadiums when you see it, you're like, damn, this is impressive. Same thing with Alabama Stadium. It's like, whoa, well, this is a big deal, huh? And then they just keep adding on to it and everything. All right, guys. Uh-oh, Noogie, what's going on? Just got a new tooth today. Got me Mary made fun of my accent yesterday. I'll say, as someone from Columbus who lived in Minneapolis for a few years, Mary's been pretty good about not making fun of my accent. But we got some breakfast sandwiches, and I opened up one. I took a bite. I was like, man, this ain't brie. This ain't brioche bread. I'm blowing it with my coughing. And she kind of laughed from across the room, and she was like, I've never heard anybody with that accent say, this ain't brioche bread. And I was like, are you thinking are you getting vibes? This stuff's made in New York City. And she was like, exactly. It's exactly the kind of vibe I'm getting. This ain't brioche. You got any Grey Poupon? Hey, man, I like good bread. Hey, man, people from everywhere like good bread, even guys from Dayton. Now, I will say, I used to say when I first started this whole YouTube thing, maybe now I guess over time, there was some confusion. People would be like, is this dude from Cleveland? What's Cleveland? Why does he sound like that? Cleveland? Why does this guy from Cleveland sound like this? And I'd be like, no, I'm not from Cleveland. I'm actually from Dayton. And then they'd be like, where the hell's Dayton? And then I'd be like, well, I'm just like 30 minutes north of Kentucky. And they'd be like, okay, now everything makes sense. All right. So, which I am, Covington, I can get there in under an hour easy. Yeah, I don't know what it is, Noogie. I like half of my family, like kind of is from North Carolina. I spent a ton of time in North Carolina as a kid. With those relatives and cousins and all that. I had a friend, one of my best friends, his family was from somewhere in Kentucky. I don't know where they were from, man. His dad talked wild. So maybe that, I just grew up around just a lot of hillbilly sounding people, for lack of a better term. You can totally still say that on YouTube. That is not a derogatory term at all. You redneck hillbilly hick. Boom. I don't even think they like you can't say nothing mean to anybody in the comments anymore. But boy, people sure can call me a hick. Come on, YouTube. It's a slur. All right, guys. Boom. We're out of here. Right at 50 minutes. How about that? There's a lot of people here tonight. Thank you all for stopping by. And looks like we're stuck on 27 thumbs up. My 27 looks a little weird there. It's like the 2 and the 7 aren't lined up. What's going on with YouTube, man? All these changes, man. It's all these changes. All right, guys. Boom and boom. As a Kentuckian, I'm canceling you. I don't even know what I said. What did I say? I was like, oh, yeah, dude. I don't know. You got to admit. Well, hey, that ain't not me, Pepper. That was the rest of the country when they'd be like, boy, why do you sound like that? I'd be like, look, I live close to Kentucky. And then they'd be like, oh, okay, I get it. I don't know. They don't discriminate against Ohio like they do Kentucky. OHIO. Boom. We're out of here. Joe, McCavity, Chuck, Noogie. Chuck, thanks for stopping by, man. Thanks for defending the Buckeyes. Pepper, go Wildcats. I wanted to say that. Hilljack. Yeah, I've heard the term Hilljack. I've heard worse.